Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Wallet Wisdom, a podcast presented by Lake Michigan Credit Union. If you're new to the podcast or have been listening for a while now, Wallet Wisdom is designed around breaking down the ins and outs of financial aspects, as well as help bring answers to some of banking's more confusing or complex questions. I'm one of your hosts, Brett. As always, it's Lo.
Hey.
Hey.
How you doing?
You know what? Tis the season.
It is.
There's snow falling.
It's a big one,
It's
too.
a big one. For those that are listening,
We're on the other side of it.
We'll be on
hopefully.
the other side. That's right. That's right. So anyway, it's a holiday season, and it's been a fun time. But I'm sure, as many others, I know I have been getting them all the time. But there's all of these fake scam texts. There's so much fraud.
And what's crazy is I work for LMCU, and
Right.
I receive them, and I still panic. So I can only imagine how our
Right.
members feel when they get this, there's bad activity on your account. And you're like, wait, what?
And they are getting so much more, sneaky about it. And
So
they look
sneaky.
so legit.
Using logos, using,
Oh, yeah. And so
super
there's
similar things.
I think a lot of that going on, especially during the holiday season, as people are buying gifts and many more purchases. And if you're anything like me, listeners, you kind of lose track sometimes. And you're
Right.
like, maybe I did buy that. Did I buy that?
You
I'm
have
not
more
sure.
transactions as usual. So,
Yeah.
it's very confusing. So
Yeah.
I'm so grateful that we have
Yes.
our guest
We
today.
have an awesome guest joining us from the BBB, Better Business Bureau. We have Troy Baker, who has joined us on the
Another
show.
B.
Another B. So welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Well, as we were just saying, I'm sure that your world has been very busy over the last few months, but I'm sure even more so as fraud, I think, has become a more prominent part of our daily lives, whether it's an email or a text or even some of the calls that we get,
Right.
And I'm sure, there's quite a bit that goes into, how businesses are conducting themselves. And so we thought, what better way than to have you on, Troy, and maybe help listeners understand a little bit more about, again, what does the Better Business Bureau do? I mean, I've heard that,
Right.
name
We've
for
seen
a
the
long
posting.
time.
We know it's a good thing.
It is.
I sold books door to door, and I was BBB accredited.
Oh, yeah.
And that was like gold to show that to someone and be like, the BBB says I'm okay.
That's right.
So,
Kind of a big deal.
But I think there's a lot of people that are like, I know it's a good thing, but why is it good?
And how can we utilize that resource in a way? So, Troy, I'd love to first kind of just dive in a little bit to understand better, what it is that the BBB does and really kind of also your position there as Vice President of Community Relations and Education Foundation. I think, it would be really great to hear some more.
Educate us.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me. The Better Business Bureau, as most of you know, has been around for more than 100 years.
Mm-hmm.
We were started by good business owners that were sick of shady business owners ripping people off.
Yeah.
They got together to form an independent organization that would work within the free market to set standards for businesses and enforce those standards. And that's what we work to do today. We want to support trustworthy businesses that treat consumers the right way and help consumers identify those trustworthy businesses that do things the right way and those that are problematic in the marketplace. And when we talk about scams, we talk about them because we know every dollar sent to a scammer is a dollar that's not spent in our local community, at our local businesses. But at the same time, scam victims lose faith, lose trust, not only in the marketplace, but within the real organizations. We did a study a couple years ago that looked at scam victims. And if they fell for, you're talking about the text message scam. If they fall for that scam, they're less likely to trust the real Lake Michigan Credit Union.
Sure.
It's that effect of one person ruining it for the whole class.
The real
kind of
credit
thing.
union didn't do anything bad.
Exactly.
But once you've been scammed, you're less likely to trust. So if we can help consumers understand the difference and avoid those scams, we can help them trust the real place and find those accredited businesses like Lake Michigan Credit Union.
Yeah.
In short, the Better Business Bureau, I would say, is a collection of businesses that are dedicated to trust and ethics. And if you have that BBB accredited business logo on there, we've vetted you, we make sure you got the right licensing and you're handling things the right way, which you agree to follow those standards. And it's a good thing for consumers there to be able to look at and say, yeah, see, somebody else looked at them, somebody gave them that thumbs up.
Yeah.
Right. And I think so often we get into this mindset of like, well, there's a specific type of person that gets scammed. Not anymore.
No.
Everyone is a victim, a possible victim, I should say, to these scams. And I think, too, any company is also a possible victim to being
targeted. Yeah.
as the scamming business, right? So my friend's texting me like, LMCU just texted me this. What's going on? And I'm like, it's not us, I swear. But it's hard to understand that we had nothing to do with the text going out, and there's nothing we can do to prevent it either.
Yeah.
So I know trivia's at the end here, but I'm going to put you on the hot spot.
Okay, all
Trivia
right.
for you. What age group is the most likely age group to lose money to a scam? They get to young people, old people, or middle age?
Oh, man.
See, my initial gut is to say older people, because I do know, personally, financially, that's a very, very vulnerable set. But I think young people with this text stuff have to be big targets for that, because they're so used to getting texts and reacting that
I
way.
would probably agree. I mean, I think the kind of normalcy or the thought process that comes to mind is, the more vulnerable being slightly more older with the lack of knowledge of technology. But I think we live in a world now where everyone's used to clicking links just without even looking at it. That next thing you know, oh man, I just gave them a bunch of my information without knowing that.
And they might not be watching their accounts as closely and a lot of things.
I'm
But that's
dying
my
to
guess.
know. What is it?
So what we have found, traditionally it used to be older people were the most likely to lose money through scam. Over the last 5 or 6 years, that has shifted to younger people. Younger people, 18 to 24, are the most likely to report losing money to a scam.
Wow.
Now, they lose the least amount of money. That graph goes the opposite way. The older you are, the more money you are likely to lose to a scam.
The more money you have.
Because
It's because you got more.
well, you have more, but the scams that are targeting older people are larger dollar amounts. We're talking about romance scams, investment scams, those things that target a large nest egg that you may have saved up, as opposed to the more common scams that are affecting people that I'm sure we're going to talk about today. Those online purchase scams.
Right.
The kids scrolling through their feed and finding that thing that they like, oh, let me buy that. And then seeing the reviews that said, I spent $50 on this item and I never got it.
Never got it. Right.
And the beautiful thing about this, and we talk about this in young people, we do a presentation in schools called Scam Busters, and Lake Michigan Credit Union is a sponsor of that program. So thank you to Lake Michigan Credit Union for your support. Because we are absolutely in high schools talking to students about what to avoid, how to identify what is real and what is fake, and how to make sure you're using something that is legitimate and trustworthy, as opposed to something that seems like a great deal but really isn't going to be.
Right. And I think that's what's so hard right now is that these scammers are getting more and more complex. Some of the more old school ones, the relationship scams, those can be very obvious, or they can be pretty intentional and long-winded to get to the final scam, or the long lost relative in Africa or wherever, or the grandchild in jail and needs bail. That's another one. But the work from home scams, right? Is that another one that we're seeing a lot of?
Oh yeah, and lots of these come into those fake check scams. And the idea that they send you a check for more money than you're owed, and they say you keep some of it, and then you send the rest of it off here, either gift cards or wire it or put it into a website. And some of them are very obvious, the car wrap scams, we're going to pay you $500 to drive around with a logo on your car type thing.
Right. Not going to lie, that was very intriguing for me. I was like, really? Like, okay. Advertising is big.
It is, but it's probably, they never ask you, what kind of car do you drive? Where do you drive? When do you drive? Do you have a driver's license and a car to begin with? You think about the offer. But as you were saying, they get better at hiding it. So we are seeing now employment scams that used to be, if it said work from home, okay, I'm going to stay away from it. Now it's a very common thing. So they'll do a Zoom interview with you and say, we're going to give you this job. We're going to send you this check. You keep part of it for your salary. You need a new laptop and a new printer. So we're going to give you some extra money. Here's the website of the vendor we use. Pick out what you want and pay this vendor. And that website is run by the scammers.
Right.
So it seems much more logical. The red flags don't go off as much as if it was here, cash this check and then buy a bunch of gift cards and give me the numbers.
Right. And they're finding that scammers are more willing to put a little more skin in the game to get it started so that they might get more out of it in the end too.
Yeah.
Right.
The more convincing it is, the more likely you will deceive somebody.
Right.
It is.
And how interesting, I think as we look at it as a society, I mean, the more these are regular things, it makes it more of a regular thing for targeting those people. You know, we've got people that are working from home and many different situations. But I think at the end of the day, because I'll tell you a quick story. This now was years ago, and that just goes to show how long it's still been going on. They just keep getting more elaborate. But I also, at the time, this was like 12, 14 years ago, I was unemployed. And I was looking for work, and I found on some listings for like a personal assistant, business assistant, things like that. And in touch with them. Everything seemed legit from the start. And then it was, hey, I need you to help me with this payment. And he sent a check, just like you explained. And something just seemed wrong. Like all of the alerts in my head were going off. And so because I was so uncertain, I actually reached out to you guys, and you guys gave some great advice. And then on top of that, as I realized this truly was a scam and someone was trying to fake this, I reached out to the FBI. I mean, that's what they would say. These kind of attacks that are happening in, trying to, really go after people's funds. And, they appreciated the information. They kind of explained some things. They took all of that information and all the rest. But yeah, you don't expect it. And especially in today's day and age where that's a more regular thing. Yeah. But I think for listeners to remember, it's the old adage, and it will never.
Sounds too good.
Bingo. It's too good to be true.
Right. And it doesn't necessarily mean that it is too good to be true. However, it just means it's too good to ignore and too good to not do your research.
If you ask the question to yourselves, really? Like, I've never experienced that before at a job, then you might think it might be worth at least doing some extra digging, and obviously digging not with the person you're in contact with.
Because they have all the answers.
They have all the answers. They're going to tell you all of it and convince you. And, they are truly, scam artists have been a thing forever. They have been truly trying to, deceive people for so long. And it's sad. But
I think, too, right now, what's so scary is a lot of people have already stepped out of their comfort zone post-COVID. So we have older people that didn't touch the internet for years and years and years, but we're forced to now. So we're seeing a lot of digital forms of payments and things like that. Are there more scams that you're seeing hit older people because of this digital age, too?
Oh, certainly. You think back to just the way payments were made to scammers. Wiring it through Western Union, and then Western Union kind of got caught up. The feds got into it. Now there's a lot of warnings there. It still happens, but it is much more difficult. So they shifted to gift cards.
Oh yeah,
and the idea that go buy a gift card and scratch off that number and send me a photo of that or read it off to me, and that's how they got money. We're now seeing that shift to electronic payments through Venmo, through Cash App, through these other electronic payment options.
Sure.
And most of them do not have a way to claw that back.
Yeah.
So once that money's gone, it's gone.
Yeah.
Right.
So anytime somebody that you don't know is asking you to send them a payment through one of these methods, don't do it.
Yeah. Right.
And you talked about kind of the how do you know? How do you know? How do you figure that out? One of the best things you can do is have somebody you know and trust that you're willing to bounce ideas off of. A family member, a friend. Just, I'm not quite sure about this. What do you think? Because while certainly you're going to be embarrassed if they look at you and go, oh, come on, that's obviously a scam.
Yeah.
You're going to feel really bad when you lost $2,000 to it, and then you go and they say, come on,
it was a scam.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And if you have nobody in your life that you can think of that has this, come into LMCU.
That's
we
right.
hear about it all. You know, we've heard all of the different scams that are going on there, and sadly have to see people come back after we've told them, this is not legit. And they're like, well, I feel like it is. We don't want to have to be that person.
Yeah.
And I know you probably have that at the BBB all the time.
Well, so I would much rather a bruised ego than a bruised wallet and a bruised ego.
Right, exactly.
So there's a story that I often tell about lottery scams. This woman called me up, wanted me to contact her parents, who thought they had won $500,000 in this lottery.
Oh, no.
And they were trying to convince her to give them $5,000 to pay the taxes. Rule number one is you never pay to collect a lottery prize.
No.
If you win the lottery, they're going to take some out, they're going to give you the money, and then you're going to settle up with Uncle Sam in April.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But so I called this couple, and it took me 20 minutes to convince them that it was a scam.
Wow.
And they were ignoring the biggest red flag I'd ever heard.
Did you play it?
They were, well, there's
That's always
You
my
never
question.
signed up? It's
Did
so
you
weird.
play the
Play the
lottery? Is one of absolutely the
It's the
questions
worst
I
part of the
ask.
lottery is you have
And
to play to win.
But they come up with an excuse as to you were drawn on this random thing, maybe I entered, maybe I put my name down on something. You don't quite know sometimes, what did I put my name into?
Right.
Yeah.
They're very convincing, but this couple was being told to put $5,000 cash into the middle of a magazine and mail it to an
Oh, my
address in
word.
Idaho.
No way. No way.
And it's
Now,
like,
not all of them are that
have you-
obvious, but wow.
Yeah. Have you ever paid taxes by putting cash into a magazine?
Wait, I've done that
and
every
mailing
year.
It to
No.
Idaho? Like, that's
In
not
a
how you pay
magazine?
taxes.
Well, it was Money Magazine.
It's not like it's a briefcase that I'm going to put in the park and walk away.
As obvious as it is, though, like a lot of scam victims, they started thinking about the way their life and their family's life will change with that life-changing amount of money. $500,000 is going to change a lot of lives in your family.
Yeah.
We see it for millions of dollars sometimes.
Right.
And once they pay, a lot of these people feel like there's no way out but for this to pay off. So they're going to keep paying and keep paying. So having somebody you can talk to just to say, stop digging the hole.
Well, and I know too from just some of the experiences, even like with this, the one example I just shared, one of the biggest things that they try to do is they try to separate you from those
Exactly.
people.
Don't tell
you
people.
cannot tell. This is a private matter. This is very important of, security, yada, yada. I'm trusting you to be sensitive with this private information. And they want you to not talk to anyone because if they can keep you in that web without anybody outside helping to, bring reason, because at the end of the day, I think what's very sad and also amazing about these scammers is imagine if they could use that stuff they're doing for good.
Right.
Right,
Which
because
they
they-
do get sometimes with the FBI and CIA, right? They convert those people.
They do. That's right. But that perspective of they're not trying to just attack you for your money. They are really attacking your emotions.
Right. Yes.
They want to prey on those emotions of the life-changing, huge money difference and what life would be. And when you start believing this is going to be for real, you can't stop the brain from thinking, and now you're fighting emotions, not logic.
And Troy, I'm sure you can feel this too. There's something so helpless on being the other side of things, trying to help people.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, there's nothing we can do to prevent these scams from happening. Right. We've gone so far as preventing people being able to skim from your pocket straight to your card. But unfortunately, there are these force fields that people walk through that give your number to them so that they can text you these things. That's the thing that we're finding now. Where do I go to try to figure out, okay, what is out there? I think the knowledge is about just the only way we can prevent
well,
something.
and I think too, we're sharing about all these unfortunate things and it kind of can start to feel hopeless. But I think one thing that is true is there is hope. And I think a lot of it comes down to educating ourselves, understanding and looking for some of these little shortcomings, because there are still some fraud rules that they, what they're doing is illegal, but there are other things they could be doing even worse illegally that would mean if they ever got caught, it's done for them, right? And so there are, a lot of different things you can catch, but I'd love to hear, how can we?
Where do we go? How do we look it up?
So first and foremost, the Better Business Bureau has our scam tracker, bbb.org/scam tracker. You can report scams that you come across. You can see what scams are being reported in your community. You can search through that. So if you get something saying it's from Publishers Clearinghouse.
Sure.
You can do a search for Publishers Clearinghouse and see what other people have reported. On that note, the second most impersonated entity last year by scammers was Publishers Clearinghouse.
Wow.
There is one way and one way only that you won Publishers Clearinghouse. They show up at your door one day with a big check.
All right.
It used to be Ed McMahon showing up with a check.
Right.
Ed's not around anymore,
Right.
but that's what they do. So if somebody calls you, sends you a text message, sends you an email, it says, you just won Publishers Clearinghouse, just do these things.
Nope.
You didn't win.
Yeah.
You did not win that. So understanding, the scam tracker is a great resource there. Having somebody, as I said, that you can bounce ideas off of is a great way to make sure you've got that. We do a number of presentations in the community. Like I said, we're in schools. We've got our Fighting Financial Fraud series in senior centers and in other community groups, trying to help teach people on what to avoid. So educating yourself. And if you're not sure, just take your time. One of the lessons I always give people at our Fighting Financial Fraud is use what I call my Girl Scout cookie rule. Somebody knocks on my door. If you're not a Girl Scout, I'm not buying right there. this is a podcast. You
But
can
I'm
say,
BBB
I like
accredited.
I like my Girl Scout cookies.
Oh, yeah,
I'm a big
Right.
guy. But the idea of I'm not going to feel pressured to act right now when you're at the door. And the same thing goes on the phone. I'm not going to feel pressured to act right now. And, we talked about the text scams.
Yeah.
And they tried to pressure you, but with fear. Something's wrong with your account. Click here.
Yeah.
And knowing what to look for, and I'll let you guys be the pro. I actually got the fake one and the real one from Lake Michigan Credit
Yes,
Union,
and they look
which
very
is great.
different.
They're very,
but-
very different. If there's a link on there and it doesn't take you to the real website,
LMCU.org.
yeah. So LMCU.org, you get one saying there's something from the Postal Service. If it's not the Postal Service's website,
Yeah.
it's not from the Postal Service.
Right.
If
Yeah.
it's not Amazon.com, it's not from Amazon.
Right.
And be careful too, right? Because some of these URLs that they're using, they may look like
That
it's
generic
Amazon, but the
key.
O is a 0, or
Yeah.
LMCU might be in
.com.
the .com,
Yeah.
but we're a .org, and so even still, I mean, even for like financial institutions like LMCU, who you're right, we have unfortunately been victimized from these
Yeah.
scammers as well.
Personalization. Yeah.
Where that component does definitely come into play, where we are not going to be requesting you to click links, all these other things. We're going to be requesting you to get in contact with us,
Yes.
right? Call our facility, because then you can find the number to us, and that's what's going to happen.
And that's exactly right. So and don't take the phone number that's in the text message that you're not
Yes.
sure is real.
Yes.
It could very well be from Lake Michigan Credit Union and have the right phone number on there.
Right.
But pull out your debit card or your credit card and call that phone number that's on the back. That goes to Lake Michigan Credit
That's
Union.
right.
Yep.
Walk into the branch and talk to the people there.
Please, we'd
You
love to see you.
know
Yep.
they're from
Yep.
Lake Michigan Credit Union. If you get something from Amazon, log into your Amazon account and check.
Yeah.
Don't click on the links that you aren't sure are legitimate.
Well, and
right.
you brought up a great point, and that is being slow to act. Because I was actually talking to one of our cybersecurity and fraud specialists, actually the manager, and I had gotten one of those texts and I wanted to report it to him. And it happened, of course, after business hours. So I didn't tell him until the next day, sent him a picture of it. And he thought I was talking about a member. And he's like, unfortunately, there's nothing we can do with the member. I'm not going to have them test it. And I was like, oh, no, this is my number.
Yeah.
And he goes, I want you to respond. So I responded, but because it had been so long, they already forgot about me. They didn't even respond back. They weren't interested anymore. They knew I was probably on to them.
Yep.
And I tried to get them to interact with me again, and nothing. So slow to act is huge.
Yeah.
I think with these scammers, they're too eager for their money that they are just, all right, on to the next one, right?
Well, and I don't recommend people
Doing that. Don't do that.
It's fun to mess with them. I've done it before.
I love when
Lots
the
of people
police do it
Yeah.
or the IRS do
But-
it. That's fun. Like,
But the truth of the matter is, these scammers look at it like a business. So when they get in these call centers, if you answer the phone, they mark that phone number is good. They're going to keep calling.
Yeah, or sell it.
Eventually, if nobody answers the phone, they say, okay, that's not going to work, and they move on.
Yep.
If you fall victim to a scam, they add you to what is unfortunately called the suckers list. And they share that with all their friends. If you fell for this scam, all their friends are going to call you now
Yeah.
because they think you might give them money too.
Yeah.
And there's so much frustration. I'm on the do not call list. That do not call list applied to a specific group of people.
Yeah.
And there are so many new scammers now. And even if you tell someone to not call you, they're still going to pass the number because you answered
Yep.
to the other scamming business that they own.
The do not call list is only for legitimate businesses that care
Yeah.
that they're going to get
That
fined
could
for
actually
violating.
give you things.
For violating. The scammers are trying to steal all of your money.
Right.
They don't care that they're going to get an additional fine because they call
They'll
the
pay
do
you
not
with
call
someone
list.
else's
Right.
money.
That's
Exactly.
not a big deterrent for them.
Yep.
So it's going to help cut some of it down,
Yeah.
but it's not going to prevent those scam calls. So
That's my rule. If I don't have your name saved in my phone,
Yeah.
you need to leave me a message the first time you call me, and then I will add you to my list.
That's
but from
right.
then on, I don't answer anybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as we wrap up, Troy, I think, from what at least I'm hearing is there are a lot of resources that do exist. The BBB is a great resource, especially for, hey, when the power goes out, who do you check online? You go and check your local electric, company to see if there's status of what's the outage, right? We check the weather reports to see what's going on. When you're not sure if there is a scam that is currently being targeted at you, this is a great resource, your website, to be able to check and look to see, are others reporting this? And then you can say, yes, okay, this is definitely that.
Yeah.
And then still, if you're not sure, because sometimes reporting does take some time. I mean, please reach out to, your financial institution. Like, look, at the end of the day, for listeners, obviously, this is a podcast that is sponsored by Lake Michigan Credit Union. We work for Lake Michigan Credit Union. We love what we are able to do. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, though, our purpose is to help educate our members and non-members about financial aspects and make sure that your future finances are in sound order. And that doesn't matter if you're here or at another credit union or another bank or wherever. We want you to know it is most likely, as a collective financial, institution with others, I would venture to say majority of them would say the same thing as us. We will not be sending you text messages to click on links and tell us this information. We will reach out to you if we have to call, or we will, if there is a text, it will say, please call us back.
And they're not going to be offended if you say, I'm not sure you're legitimate. Let me hang up and call the number on my card.
Right.
They will welcome
Absolutely.
that.
And if they don't, then you've got questions.
Red flag number one.
Number one.
But and that's also a thing too. I think so often we're embarrassed if we fall victim to things like that. Yeah. Please don't be embarrassed.
Yeah.
We're all getting these things, and the best thing you can do is share about it.
That's right.
The best thing you can do is go in and let someone know that you fell victim, because then we can start educating the next person about it.
That's right.
Use your experience to help educate others. So at the dinner table, talk about the scam texts you've been getting.
That's right.
And in some ways, we can shut these down. There are a number of cases. The Better Business Bureau, we work with law enforcement all the time, and there have been a number of cases from a business perspective where people buy something online.
Oh, sure.
They don't get it. They make a complaint to us. We do some research. We find the people behind it and work with the Attorney General's office and law enforcement to not only shut them down, but to get people their money back.
Yep.
Yeah.
So sometimes we can actually help resolve the issue for you. But at a minimum, like you said, we know what to warn you about. And if you know what to avoid, you shouldn't fall victim to it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and no matter where you are, the BBB is there. So
that's right.
give them a call, let them know what you're experiencing, and they will help you direct what's next.
Mm-hmm.
If you're an LMCU member or not, even come in and stop with us. We are happy to educate you on what you might be seeing too.
Definitely.
So
Absolutely.
that's so great.
Well, Troy, again, we are so grateful that you were able to join us, I think, on a very fitting topic. And honestly, you get to end our year of our season 3 of Wallet Wisdom.
Ending it on a good note here.
It's crazy, but
He knows he's not leaving.
I mean, we still have a great part of the show still.
Right, listeners, Troy's been talking big talk.
Oh, yeah.
He is going on the trivia round here with Brett, and is very, very confident that he'll be taking home the money today.
All right, you're really building this up here.
I mean, we can edit that out. We can edit that out. But but I mean, so far you've proved yourself very knowledgeable.
That's right.
So we will
I'm
see.
a little nervous, though.
Right,
I really am. I
I'm a
think
little
he's
nervous,
gonna-
and I'm the one holding the trivia questions. So
Well, that is exactly right. It's our part of the show that we love, which is Are You Smarter Than the Show? It's trivia. And, just for listeners that may be tuning in for the first time, our trivia is a really fun part of the show that we like to give back to the community as well. And so with that in mind, each podcast we give $50 that's on the table. But don't worry, if you don't win, Troy, that $50 does get added to the pot. And we are up quite a bit now. We've, I have to be honest, I've won, I think, 3 times in a row now.
you have.
So
this
we're up
is one of
to-
our biggest streaks in a while.
That's right.
So
That's right. So today we're playing for $200, Troy.
Okay.
All right. And
there's no loser.
no
so
loser.
if for some odd reason you don't take it home today, all that means is that you were like, I think another organization
more
needs
money.
250. So it will carry over to next time. We will not call it a lose. We will call it just winning for a bigger purpose. That's right. All right?
I was at a casino once, and they wouldn't say lose. They said you're non-winning. So
That's like-
these aren't your losing. It's just you're non.
Well, they say, if you're not first, you're last. So
Exactly.
awesome. All right. Well, just so you know some of the rules real quick, Troy, Lo will ask us the question to both of us. We will both be able to buzz in with our name, and there is a steal. So if I don't get it right, you'll have the opportunity to steal the point, and then we'll move on. It's a best out of 3. If we get to the point where we need a tiebreaker, then we will have that. So
All right.
it'll be a lot of fun. But without further ado,
I'm so excited for this. So sometimes I go with a theme. This time I'm just going to go completely random because
I like random.
my brain is random 90% of the time. So my first question for you guys is going to go a little history, a little linguistics. We all know Rosetta Stone as a computer program that teaches you language, right?
Yeah.
But it's an actual physical, historical thing, the
Okay,
Rosetta Stone.
The Rosetta Stone, okay.
So which of these languages is not on the Rosetta Stone? Not on. I'm not talking on the computer program. I'm talking on the Rosetta
on
Stone.
the stone. Well, this is the first time I'm learning about the stone.
I'm
so
sure you're
going to
get this right.
I'm feeling good about my answer then if that's true.
So I've got 3 languages here, and you have to tell me which one of these is not on the stone. Okay?
Oh, okay.
Hieroglyphics, ancient Greek, or Latin?
Troy,
Yes, Mr. Troy.
ancient Greek.
Unfortunately, that is incorrect.
I thought for sure Latin was one of them.
Right. Oh, man.
thought for sure.
We'll see. Brett still has the chance to steal.
Okay.
So we know that ancient Greek is on the stone.
Yeah.
Is hieroglyphics or Latin on the stone? Or which one is not, rather?
I'm going to go, Brett, by the way, buzzing in.
What?
Who's that? I'm going to go with Latin is not on the stone.
And that is correct. And I think Troy knew that as soon as he got it wrong.
So
I honestly, as you were talking about it, I was thinking of the 3 that are on there, and those were the 3 that I thought were on there.
You're like, oh, no.
So I knew hieroglyphics were,
Yep.
and I thought for sure.
Oh, man.
You will never forget the answer to that question for the rest of your life.
Roman's the other one then, right?
Yeah, I think so. It doesn't tell me, but that sounds right.
Greek and
I started
Roman, I
thinking
got
about
mixed
it, and I'm like, if this is the Rosetta Stone of that age, and we use Rosetta Stone to learn languages we don't know, maybe back then Latin was the main language. They need to know how to speak in hieroglyphics. Wow, I can't speak today.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's
All
the
right.
stone they actually used to decipher the hieroglyphics and figure out what that language
No
was.
kidding. It was like the cipher.
It was.
Yeah.
Wow.
I love it.
See, too bad you didn't ask him that question.
Right? I mean, I don't know that I knew enough to ask that question.
Oh, man. All
We're
right.
going to go a different route here. Totally. We're in current events now, and award season has just kind of wrapped up.
Oh, I'm in trouble.
Okay, so we've got a film buff here, and we're going to talk about a couple of celebrities and what they have in common. So what do John Legend, Audrey Hepburn, Whoopi Goldberg, and Mel Brooks have in common? And I'll give you 3 choices to kind of narrow this down, okay? They have all won awards for Rodgers and Hammerstein's covers. They're all award-winning playwrights, or they are all EGOT winners. For those of you that don't know what an EGOT is, that is an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony. So which of those 3 things, Rodgers and Hammerstein cover, award-winning playwrights, or EGOT winners?
Can you give the list of names again?
You betcha. That is John Legend, Audrey Hepburn, Whoopi Goldberg, and Mel Brooks.
Brett.
Yes, Mr. Brett?
If I get this right, I think it's a win.
It is.
It is. No pressure. None whatsoever.
I'm gonna
Except
say,
for all of the pressure.
I'm going to go with the EGOT.
That is what they have in common?
I think that's what they have in common because
And
John
with
Legend
that-
is a singer, and honestly, Whoopi has done that, and she's been in a lot of plays. And Mel Brooks, I mean, man,
Mel Brooks.
it's Mel Brooks.
He's done everything.
Oh, I know.
So with that, that is a non-win for Mr. Troy.
Oh,
and a win.
no! Oh, my gosh. I did not expect this. This is crazy.
Right? Well done. Thank you for
Good
giving
job.
the win to another institution
Yes.
or organization
Troy,
there,
I'm
Mr.
so
Troy.
sorry. I think I got lucky on that first one. When you took one of the options out of the equation, it definitely,
Honestly,
I think it helped.
That was not
Honestly,
you.
That's why I let you
You
take
let
the
me go on
second
this one?
because I thought, okay, if he gets it wrong, I got a better shot
that's
at this
right.
here.
Exactly.
I'm like, I think he's staying quiet. Okay, I got
we
this.
knew
I
we were
think.
going into this winners already because we got to have you on the show. So thank you so much for being here. It is
Yes.
a pleasure.
It has been, and I think again for listeners, just really take in this information. If you're looking for more resources, look into the BBB's website and definitely look into those aspects. And again, better equipping yourselves and understanding where some of these red flags come in. I mean, this is why it's so important. You just continue to have those around you that you can, bounce those ideas off of. Family, friend, or again, maybe a trusted resource like your banking facilities that you're at. So, we're so grateful, though, for what you guys do for our communities and to keep us as consumers safe, knowing that you are vetting businesses, keeping those businesses accountable, and just kind of holding everyone to that little bit higher standard. I think for us as consumers, that does give us peace of mind in a world where it's a little bit hectic and chaotic, and we appreciate what you do.
Well, thank you. That's what we hope to do, and we hope that we can help consumers be wise consumers. Take care to use your money in a wise way, avoid getting ripped off, and find those trustworthy organizations. They're going to treat you right.
That's right.
Yep.
That's so true. That's so true.
Well, thank you, Troy.
Indeed.
Thank you.
Well, that's it.
That's it.
Year 3. And if you're listening to the show for the first time and you're like, season 3 already, that means you might need to go back and catch up. That's right. You got Christmas break, holiday break.
I mean, you don't have to listen to any of the episodes before I was on. But
yeah, that's right. Yeah. That was, that was a
the
different
party
age.
really started when I walked in. So it's
the
fine.
founding fathers of
saying.
the podcast.
Yes.
No, anyway, again, we wish each and every one of you that have been listening, whether it's your first time or you've been listening for a while, truly a happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
We're so grateful that we get to just be part of maybe your life a little bit once in a
We
while.
are very grateful for that. Thank you.
Well, and to you, Lo, thank you for being awesome.
See you
and
next
we hope you
season.
have next season.
Next season.
That's right. We've been renewed.
Forget the next year joke. I'll say next season.
That's right. See you next season.
Toodaloo.
Thanks for listening. The information provided in this podcast by Lake Michigan Credit Union is general education or marketing in nature and is not intended to be accounting, legal, tax, investment, financial, or other advice. Statements of individuals are their own, not LMCU's. All topics discussed are information of a general nature and do not address the circumstances of any particular individual or entity. Consult an appropriate professional concerning your specific situation. As of the date of publishing and any future date this podcast is broadcast, all rates, fees, payments, or other specific figures discussed are subject to change and are dependent upon your specific financial situation. All loan products discussed are subject to credit and collateral approval. You alone assume the sole responsibility of evaluating the merits and risks associated with the use of any information or other content in the podcast before making any decisions based on such information or other content. In exchange for listening to the podcast, you agree not to hold LMCU, its affiliates, or any third-party service providers liable for any possible claim for damages arising from any decision you make based on information or other content made available to you through the podcast. For more information on any of the content discussed in this podcast, please visit lmcu.org. Copyright Lake Michigan Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing lender. LMCU, NMLS ID number 442967.